Am I live? It's telling. Oh, hello. Hi. Hi everybody. Why yes, it is in fact earlier than normal. And I am live. I have a meeting I have to get to later, so I am streaming a little bit early this evening. And I'm working on something new. Something new. It's just I don't have a title, so I just wrote short story, and this is page 1. I have a script. I'm not going to show it to you. I have there. I'll show you a little thumbnail of the page we're working on today. But nothing else. I don't want to give away too much. So yeah, I'm going to work on laying out some panel borders whilst I tell you about what we're doing. Um, so hi, I'm Amanda. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. It's looking a little close to what I'm trying to do right now. Hi, I'm Amanda. This is my channel. You probably know that if you've been here before. Hey, someone's saying, so glad you're able to make it this evening. The thing is, I'm still finishing the end of the current Age of Night chapter. I don't have the next chapter ready to start showing anyone yet. And I don't have any more I am the first pages to work on because they're all drawn and inked. We're just finishing up coloring because that's going to be coming out soon. So yeah, if I am at a place where I don't have a lot of, hold on, I'm trying to math. Yeah. 7.5. So 3.5. All right. So it's 1, 2, 3.5. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I have a brain. I can do that. All right. Anyway. So I'm trying to figure out how to divide up my panel borders because I haven't done that yet. I'm working on my panel borders while I am talking to you. So anyway, so I am almost done with I Am the First. I have everything drawn and inked, and we're just working on finishing up colors and pulling the book together. Jeremy has a lot of the book laid out already. Can't work on anymore. I Am the First for you guys. And so when I'm in a where there's not really like a good Age of Night page to work on because of wherever I am with that, then it's like, well, I should probably have a second on to show you guys. And I always have plenty of stuff to work on at any given time. But I like to work on comics on this stream if I can. Having I Am the First as like a secondary comic project to work on different weeks. Because that's kind of the problem sometimes with doing these streams is that I always something that's like very entertaining to watch. Sometimes I'm doing stuff that's kind of boring. That's just how it is. Yeah, so I was like, I should really work on one of these comics that I have written, like one of these short stories that I have written and half thumbnailed that it's like I don't know when I'm ever gonna get to. And so yeah, well, we can work on it some on the stream, and maybe I'll only get to work on it a little bit, and maybe I'll get to work on it more than just a little bit. We'll see. We'll find out. But that at least gives me something to work on the stream and gives me a chance to get a little bit of work done on a little side project that otherwise might just sit in a notebook forever. Why is my phone ringing? Leave me alone. Spam. I don't want to risk any spam. All right. I have my panel borders. This is just a nice big establishing shot and then just a couple of panels. And so now that I have ruled those out, I am outlining my two kind of inset panels with my rapidograph, however you want to say it. My tech pen. I guess rapidograph. I guess. I don't know. Rapidograph. I don't know. However you want to pronounce it. I'm sure whoever knows how to actually pronounce it, I probably sound like a complete doofus, but that's okay. I know that when I hear people mispronouncing things that I know how they're pronounced, I'm just like, "Cringe, what are you doing?" But, I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. Hey, Spud. Yeah, so mostly had a pretty good holiday. I don't know. I mean, so, like, the holiday season itself, like, yeah, Christmas was good. And, it was nice having the last couple weeks of December were just kind of a disaster. Like, it was just one disaster after another around here. Like, not that there was anything bad with the holidays themselves, just a lot of stuff had around this same time. Has not been great. I got sick on New Year's. Hey, Ilya, thanks so much for coming by. I got sick on New Year's. I had a terrible stomach bug my kids had both had, and yeah, so I spent New Year's Eve, like, the entire day of New Year's Eve, I was just, like, barely awake and very unwell, and then New Year's Day, like, so I went to bed at, like, I don't know, 8:30 or something, and then New Year's Day, I was just, like, semi-recovered. It's like I'm actively super sick anymore, so I try to catch up on everything around my house that I completely ignored for, like, 36 hours, so, yeah, that was fun. See, it's been a lot of that kinda situation. Like, just that kind of a vibe of things going on. Not great. It's not been great. I'm hoping that now that we're in the new year, things will be Happy New Year, someone saying. I'm hoping that this year goes better. All right, I gotta clean off the tip of my Tecna after I use it so it doesn't get all dry and gummy and gross. Get that closed back up. Okay, I'm gonna need a couple of perspective grids. Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. Yeah, that was not fun. I had grand plans. Normally we stay up late and normally my husband and I will we stay home. Initially I was actually supposed to go out with friends and then they had to cancel because their dog sitter got sick and so they couldn't travel to come and hang out. And I was pretty bummed about that, but then it turns out that it worked out since I was sick anyway cuz but I mean, normally what I would do and what I was going to do once my friends couldn't make it was just you know, stay home, watch movies, play games, eat snacks, that sort of thing. Well, that's all I was planning on doing, staying up until midnight and then going, "Yay, go to bed." It's usually what we do. But that didn't happen. There wasn't much left of that. Okay. I had someone ask a question recently about what I was on an older video that was a couple years old, I think, about what kind of pencil I was using. This is what I use these days. I used to use these guys. And I still have a bunch of them, but I got so fed up with the fact that every time that I sharpened them, this pigment in the middle just kept on crumbling. Like you'd sharpen it and you'd go to use it, and the pigment would just go and over and over and over again. It was absolutely maddening, and these are not cheap, and so I stopped buying them. I still have some, but every once in a while when I run out of the leads for these and I don't have them back in time, I try to use one of these ones that I have stashed, and they're so frustrating still. And I'm just like, oh yes, that's right. That's why I stopped buying these. So now instead, do I have one right nearby? No, I must have put them away. Putting things away. Actually putting things where they belong. Who is this? Who is this person? Couldn't be me. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, because I don't see them where they actually belong either. Oh, there's one. Okay. Just getting swallowed by my storage drawer. This is what I use now. It's the Staedtler Mars Lumichrome Blue. Get 4 of them in this little tube, and then you can put them in nice little pencil holder, 2 millimeter pencil holder. And that's what I have been using. Yeah, so we had the power outage and the flood. All of that was a lot. I got sick, my kids got sick. My cat died very randomly. I don't even like bringing that up because I'm very upset about it still. And it also just feels like I'm like it's been so absurd. It starts to feel like I'm making shit up, and I'm really not. That was like a couple of days before Christmas, my cat just up and died, like, very with no notice or lead up or whatever. Yeah, it was very upsetting. Oh, hi, Brianna. So nice to see you in the chat here. Yeah, it was very much just like a no warning, just sudden he had some kind of sudden event in the middle of the night, like an aneurysm or stroke or something. We don't know. It was literally just he meowed a couple of times and made some really strange noises, and we went to check on him, and he had passed, and that was it. It was awful. It was awful, and he was young and healthy, had no, like, chronic issues or anything, and so I'm just like I still sort of can't believe it because it happened so unexpectedly. Seriously, just it's like, "Really? Can I catch a break, please?" So, yeah, we have not gotten another cat yet because 'cause I'm just, like, still kind of completely wrecked about it, but also I really don't like not having a cat. It's so lonely. It's so lonely in the house. I came home from work this afternoon. There was nothing, nobody in the house. I was just by myself. It's awful. I was like, "There's nobody here. Nobody coming out to be like, meow, hello,' or at least, like, pick their head up from a nap and be like, 'Oh, you're here.'" Yeah, that's what they do. And just like, "Oh, hey. Hey, what's up?" Alright, this one, I think I want the horizon a little bit higher. Not quite that high. We're gonna be just a little higher. We're gonna do more like here. Mark that so I remember that this is this horizon line. Yeah, the dog. So I don't have a dog technically. My mother-in-law has a dog, and they live next door. And so she's a very active breed, and my mother-in-law is not active enough for the dog consistently, and so I take her on a lot of walks, hangs out at my house a lot, and so it's just like, I don't actually have a dog, but I, like, part dog. Alright, so I'm just gonna kinda see if I can show you oh, look, there we go. Yeah, so I'm using, this is how I cheat to do my perspective grids, is that I have these little, like, wood that my desk is made of, and I just line up my horizon line with one of them and flip it out to where it meets or where there's another kind of, like, distinguishing mark I use as my vanishing point, and I do it from there, and obviously, I'm not picking these points completely at random. I know what I want my grid to look like, and I have a fair amount of practice of making these, and so I know, like, how far away I want these points to be to get the grid that I want. And then I just pivot off of that point to make my grid. As I pivot, move a little bit each time and create my lines. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to scoot it down this way, line it up on those lines on the desk. And now we're going to very carefully I don't want to show you the stuff that's just out of frame over here. Oh, oh, that's probably as good as it's going to get. Okay. Also, I did that set of perspective grid lines in a pink pencil, And now I'm going to try not to stab myself in the hand and dig around for my other pencil. Where are you? Okay, for real though, where are you? There it is. Oh, it's getting very nubby. We're gonna sharpen that just a little bit. See, these are also coal erase pencils, but I've had them for a very long time, and I guess they were from a better batch of pigment because they're not falling apart. All right, I'm gonna use this there's like a little mark right here I'm gonna use as my vanishing point. We'll go ahead and mark that on here, and that's what we are going to pivot off of. And so this set of lines I'm doing in red instead of pink. They're still gonna be easy to pull out in Photoshop because it's still a nice bright color that'll be contrasted with all of my black and white line art, so I can pull it out later when I go to clean it up, but it won't be I won't be able to confuse it with the other set of perspective lines or with my actual blue drawing lines. So this just helps to keep things from getting too visually confusing. So I've gotten these. I mostly get them online at this point. I get them from Dick Blick. But the coal erase you can find pretty consistently in a lot of different places that carry open stock colored pencils. If they carry open stock Prismacolors, a lot of times they will have a little section of it will be the coal erase. So like Michael's, AC Moore, any of those kind of places, most of your small independent art supply places, they're all pretty much a lot of them are gonna have at least a handful, like the basic colors. They'll probably have like red, green, yellow, blue, yeah, black, which actually I did like the black until they ran into the same problem of the pigment disintegrating on me. I liked the black a lot, especially when I was at conventions to use as like, for doing pencil commissions, like pencil sketch commissions, rather than using actual like regular graphite because it's not as smudgy. And so I could do a pencil commission and not worry about it being like a smudgy mess when I gave it to the person and just be like, yep, here you go. You're good to go. They held up a little bit better, I thought. But again, I ran into the same problem of even with the black, is that the pigment was just not holding up. And so I stopped using them because that was just frustrating. Yeah, anytime. That's part of what I'm here for. Okay, so I have my perspective grids. Abso says they tried to pull a fast one not selling individual color boxes, but now I can get red again and the architects aren't mad about it anymore. Oh goodness. Remember my dad told a story about my dad worked at like a tool and die manufacturer when I was a kid, and he worked in like he was not a machinist. He was just like a guy who worked in the office. He was just like an office dweeb. And one of the things that he had to do was doing like supply orders. And he, at one point, the architects had been, or like the machinists and the engineers had asked for like a specific brand of red colored pencil. And my dad tried to like cheap out and get a different kind. And he was like, I was pretty sure they were going to stab me with them. Like, yeah, dude. if a draftsman asks you for a specific colored pencil, it's because that's the one that works for the job. Don't go trying to give them something else. It's not going to work. They're not going to appreciate it. It's true. Well, especially doing something that's like really fine lines and you're using like drafting tools and stuff. If you're like halfway through a line and the tip of your pencil just like explodes, well, no, that nobody wants that. You especially don't want that when you're trying to do anything like precise and clean. Okay, I'm trying to tape my thumbnails at somewhere where I can actually see them. Okay, so I'm not going to be lettering this one on the boards, but just like just like I did with I am the first, I'm still going to be kind of putting in these placeholders so that I don't forget that, not to put anything important there because that's where the text is going to be. I do have Ticonderoga red pencils just in case we run out, but they don't know your dark secret. Oh, goodness. Funny. Okay. This is where the text boxes will go. All right. And up here I have like I suppose I could have done a perspective grid up here, but I don't want to do 3 perspective grids. This is too much. It's too much. I don't want to. I have a bunch of reference images I'm looking at where I'm kind of like compositing this landscape from. Right now I'm just like hills. There's hills. Right. Kind of want a little stream situation coming through here. I don't necessarily, I think maybe that hill is kind of, I don't like that one there. Where did my eraser go? What did I do with it? There it is. Oh, this is getting quite nubby. I think I have another one somewhere. I gotta find it though. Maybe instead I'll just have it like, maybe I'll have it a little bit more like over here instead. There we go. I think that works better. I'll have some more little slightly more pronounced hills back here. Actually, I don't want it to be higher than that one in the top, in the front here. So, well, like middle here. So we're going to make that just a little smaller. All right. General lay of the land situation. I'm going to put in some little stand of trees. A little bit of shrubberies around the stream here. I'm going to have some little, got a lot of nubby. I have a full size one of this in a drawer somewhere. It's just that I never actually like replace any. It's completely unusable. And even for like the the little nubby pencils. I have a pencil extender. I don't know where it is right now. Is somebody in it? No. I don't know where it went. Okay. I have it somewhere. I have a pencil extender for when I have a little nubby pencil, and I can put it in the pencil extender and keep using it until it is literally just like a tiny little piece of wood sticking out of a little eraser ferrule. I'm just like, I refuse. I refuse to get rid of you. All right, so we've got oh, we've got some little thatched roof cottages. Thatched roof cottages. I'm not going to worry too much about what they look like quite yet. Just that they're there. We'll tighten that up later. Yeah, I have it right at, I wonder if I have it in my my travel box, because I didn't see it where I normally have it. Could have also, like, dropped it. That's a distinct possibility. It's not in my travel box. I'm not sure where that is, and it's gonna drive me nuts now. Ugh, for you. The worst part is I've probably touched it like 3 times and I just haven't realized it. Which I hate. It drives me absolutely bonkers. No, I don't see it. I don't know where it went. I'm gonna have to look for that later, because that is gonna bother me. But yeah, it's just like it's almost like this, except metal, like a little metal collar, and you stick your pencil nib in there and you tighten the collar a little bit, and then you can keep drawing because you got a whole pencil to hold on to still. You're trying to hold on to it with just your fingertips. Okay, we've got a bunch of little here, and we've got a couple of very little dots right here. And again, end up later, but that's your basics of how this is gonna look. Got some more stuff over here. I'm gonna do a few more bits and bobs. All right. That's that. Okay. Now we're gonna work on this panel. Oh, sweet. Okay. Glad you found them, since I don't know where mine is hiding. It probably, I probably at some point dropped it and it's just like under my desk. And I just did not realize at the time that that's what that clattering sound was, because that's just kind of what happens. All right, so we've got our little stream going through here. Okay, that figure looks way too large to have to jump that much over this over this body of water. That looks very much like they could have easily just stepped over. They're too big. Too big. Make them a little bit. Okay, we gotta make a couple little adjustments to read and make sense. Okay. I'm still not crazy with the solution in the now there's like way too much going on right here of all these different lines crossing where this figure is also jumping. I may have to rethink this panel a little bit. It's not really doing what I'll move on and come back to that in a minute because it's causing me frustration. Okay. I'm gonna move on for a second. We got blobs, 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 blobs. All right, I think I'm getting a better proportion going on in the different elements that I want here. Figures getting through the obstacle. All right, this panel is still bothering me. I'm gonna try to find a better way to do this. I'm not enjoying how this is coming out. So we're gonna. So I mean, part of the problem is that my sketch is just kind of like a very loosey goosey little scribble that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the way that perspective or proportion or anything works. It just it's not really like a problem solving thumbnail. It's just like a vibes thumbnail, which can be fine, but I need to actually solve some problems here. I think part of the problem is that I don't think that single point is really working. I think that's just not a good. I think that's causing me problems as much as I don't really want to have to do a 2-point. That's what I'm gonna have to erase everything. Goodness. So I just go hog wild on this thing. Okay, so now that I've made a big mess of eraser crumbs, I'm gonna move my ugh. Okay, move that back out of the way. We're going to, since I erased this about 1,000,000 times, I'm going to tighten it back up with this again. That's my horizon line, so I can see it. I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, you are correct. It's just that that is what was happening. It's just that I wasn't getting the composition I really wanted. It just wasn't quite working out the way I wanted. Not that it wasn't readable, I just wasn't satisfied with it. And since this is just kind of something I'm doing because I want to, there's no reason for me to I'm not on any kind of deadline, so I may as well take my time and make it the way I want it instead of settling for just an okay panel when I don't need to. Which I mean, I'm not gonna obsess over every panel, but when it's just well, I'm very early in the drawing stage, I can take the time to try again. It's not always possible when you're crunching on a deadline and it's just good enough. Keep going. Do not have time. We don't have time for second thoughts. All right, we're gonna scoot over pretty far on this one. I'm gonna need my big yardstick because it's 36 inches and then it's a meter stick. Look at that. Goes all the way to 1 meter. It's quite flexible, so it's not great for trying to make like long straight cuts or anything because he's wobbly. That's me bending it because yeah, it's very flexible. So you do have to be careful when you're using it because it is very easy to accidentally flex it out of being perfectly straight. But I just need I can't reach with my little 18-inch ruler, which is what I normally use. I probably could have reached with a 24-inch ruler, but I don't have one of those handy. I have my giant 36-inch ruler, well, 40-ish inch ruler, and my little 18-inch ruler, and that's it. Do I own several 24-inch rulers? Of course I do. Do I know where they are? No, I don't. I don't know. Somewhere in my chaotic long-term storage. Okay. Brianna says, I like watching you work because you show the beginning and the lines that most people don't show. Oh, well, thanks. That's the idea is I know you can see a lot of this stuff happen like very quickly in a time lapse or a speed paint or something, but it's harder to learn anything about it if it just whizzes by in half a second with no explanation. Okay, we're at 7:43. We're almost at the end of the hour. I'm going to try to get this panel somewhere where I'm satisfied with it before we leave for the evening. Because I usually only do these streams for about an hour anyway, but I do also have a commitment at 8 p.m. I need to get to online, so don't want to be late. All right, so we're going to do... I've got this little river situation, my little stream situation coming through here. Okay, I think that's working better with the vision I originally had for this anyway. All right, leaping across the little brook. The other little figure that's like, hey, over here, stream's got curves. All right, there we go. That's much better. Okay, I'm much happier with that. Okay, so I'm gonna do just a little bit of trying to tighten up some of this situation. I don't know if I can even sharpen that because there's not a lot left on that one, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to sharpen what I have left. Okay. We're gonna start cleaning some of these lines up. making a few more actual decisions about what's happening here. We're gonna have some little shrubby bits over here. Some little rocky bits. Got some shrub situations going on here. Some tall grass. Oh, geez. All right, got some more little folds and dips in the land here. Trees here and there. Okay. And we gotta get our wee little figures in here. How did you end up with an extra limb, little? Because you're super tiny. So wee tiny little figures. Hey, Joe. I am doing well. How are you? Hope you had a happy new year. I am happy just to be not sick anymore. That was my new year. Womp womp. All right, we're in the last 10-ish minutes of the stream. While I make more of these little blobs, I will do the YouTube things and remind you, I'm Amanda Call. This is my YouTube channel. I stream here just about every Tuesday night, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern. This week I had to do it at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I don't know. I'll try to at least keep it somewhat consistent. But the best way to keep up with when I am going live is to subscribe and hit the little bell thingy and get your notifications so that if I have to go live early or late, or if I'm going to miss it, and I usually make like a community post thing when I do have to miss, that way you're not just like, what is going on? Where did Amanda go? So that's a good way to keep up with that. You can see I'm working on a comic. Near started off well. Awesome. That's good to hear. I like to hear it. As you can see, I'm working on a comic page. Often I am working on my webcomic, Age of Night. I'm currently working on a random short story project that I have had kicking around in a notebook for a very long time. And since I am done with penciling and inking, I am the first. We're just wrapping that project up at this point, and I am at a point in Age of Night that I can't really share what's going on with it. Like, I can't really preview pages right now. So I decided to work on this little short story as my alternate project for right now. But yeah, my webcomic Age of Night updates every Wednesday. You can read the whole thing online for free at ageofnight.com. That's AGEOFNIGHT.com. And while you can read it all for free, if you would like to help support me, you can always support me on Patreon. That's patreon.com/ageofnight. If you don't want to do a monthly subscription, I also have a Ko-Fi /Amanda Call Art. So you can check that out as well. If you want to just make like a little one-time donation, throw me a tip, buy some stuff. I've got like prints and stickers and stuff on my Ko-Fi shop. So that is also fun and cool. Yeah, and also patrons get all of their Age of Night pages a week early, and they get to see other cool stuff that I'm working on. So, like, when this is done, my patrons will get to read the whole thing. Let's see. And Brianna says, I can't wait to see what it is. Wahahaha. If you want to follow me on any other socials, I am either Age of Night, spelled just like the comic, or Amanda Call Art on pretty much all of them. I try to keep it somewhat consistent anyway. All right, got our little stand of trees over here. All right, I think that is going to do us for this evening. We started with pretty much just a blank piece of paper. I had just drawn the outer box. We have a couple of panels all ruled out. I did a couple of perspective grids. We have this whole first page roughed in, and we've started doing the finished pencils in the first panel here, and we've got a couple more panels to continue doing the tightened up pencils. So thank you everybody for coming and joining me. Hopefully I will see you all next time. Bye.